Hello, everyone. This is Toby, the Galactic Intuitive. Everybody take a deep breath. We're going to start out first with Happy Valentine's Day. May your day be filled with love for self, love for Mother Earth, and love for all beings around us, for we are not separate from one another. All right, that being said, we have a rather heavy message today. Heavy and so necessary. So I'm standing up again because this is connected to our last message about the sacral chakra. I actually drank some citrus carrot juice ahead of time and just now, as you can see, and sitting here on my desk in order to help me ground, and then realized it's orange. As is associated with our sacral chakra. If you guys aren't familiar with Raw Generation, they make some fantastic products. I have no affiliation with them, except for the fact that I've purchased their products. As someone who has, I started to say food sensitivities. It's not really the food, it's the crap they put in our food. I don't have any problem with these products. They're fantastic. So anyway, we're going to talk about something that's super important, and this has been the nine have been bringing through the beginnings of this message very strongly since early this morning. I went to a yoga class, and Diane, it was fantastic, thank you as always. And it continued to come through, and so I'm about to go on a walk with my son, which was going to be really nice to get out in nature after this. But this needs to come through right now, so excuse my casual appearance, but what I look like is not important. So I'm standing again. I have some notes here, which is a little bit more challenging, not so much when I'm standing. All right, we're going to continue from the message from yesterday about the transmutation through the sacral chakra that we are doing in support of the collective as this collective shadow is being revealed. We're going to get into the things here in a second, but the things that are being revealed through the Epstein files, I'm starting to sweat. There's the energy. There's that transmutation. Feel the heat. If you're feeling prickling, again, I am not a medical professional. However, if you're feeling prickling on your skin, that is part of this process. I've been feeling that intensely. Initially I thought it was dry skin. The weather's been exceptionally dry here in South Carolina. The air has been very dry, but then I noticed that it really amplifies when I am doing energy work. So it's not the dry air, it's the energy moving. And so I've really absolutely noticed it most intensely on my stomach area around the sacral chakra, but also in my arms. So there's this hint, I guess we could call it, through the prickling. This is our bodies, as we talked about, our bodies informing us of processes that are going on below the surface. And what this particular signal is speaking to the light being activated and beyond activated. It's already been activated at this point for those of us who are experiencing this, but it being expressed outward, and the transmutation that is happening in the cells as well. And as our cells are holding more light, then this transmutative process happens at an amplified level. And so the tingling is the feeling, the sensation, the physical sensation we are feeling as that those energies have been transmuted and then are being released in the form of light. So that was a really fascinating little key piece of information I wanted to make sure you guys had. I feel like I'm jumping around, but there are some preface, what's the word? We're going to do a little bit of a preface here on how important it is to ground, whether it is drinking root juices, root vegetable juices, or being out in nature, doing very grounding activities. Wow. Because as you can see, I'm starting to talk faster and faster and faster. There's a lot of energy moving through us at this time because there is a lot happening out in the collective that needs us to assist in the transmutation. Again, here is one of those preface type uh, reminders. I don't want to say warning. It's verging on a warning. It's so incredibly important for us to use our discernment to not, and we talked about this with the messages about the matrix, to not feed back into the matrix. The more, yes, it is, and we talked about the importance of having awareness of what's going on. There's a difference between awareness and actively engaging in the reception of detailed information on a repeated basis. The 9 had to remind me of that this week, the last 24 hours of that's enough. You don't need to engage with it any further. You've gained what you needed from it to be aware, to be informed. To do any more is now detrimental to your frequency. It is actually, instead of feeding the transmutation, the transmutative process through your energy, it is feeding the matrix. It is feeding those systems and those beings who perpetuated those acts and the illusions around it and the systems that were built upon it. Okay, well, we talked about how I'm not going to sugarcoat things anymore. So here we are. Everybody buckle up. We are here for the year of the fire horse. And the reason why I've been so pushed to do this today, I was planning on taking today off from recording videos, but it has to be done because this is in regards to information that things that are going to be happening in this coming week. So I was shown earlier this morning, I was writing. I realized I hadn't written very much in my journal this week, and I had a really fantastic week. So much happened. And so I was kind of notating some things, and then very strongly, I was getting the image of this card. It's called The Village. This is from the what is this? It's Kim Cran's. Oh yeah, this is the Wild Unknown Archetype Oracle. There, if I can get it straight. The Village. So that was coming up in my mind's eye. The 9 were showing that to me. And then I remembered that, and what they were pointing me to, the reason they showed this to me was because this came through as kind of a centerpiece to a reading that I did several months ago. And I went back through the videos on YouTube to try and figure out which one it was. And it was actually the reading that was done as part of the 8-8, the Lionsgate group of readings. I wish I had noticed the date, but this was in regards to the full moon in Aquarius at that time. That was the timing that came through. Now, a lot of other things came through, and because I'll just jump right into it, I'm just double checking my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. What came through in this reading, I saw this card as not a mountain, but an island. And the way I saw it was these were fish in the water. Now, what I didn't say at the time, I went back and I rewatched that video this morning. What I didn't say at the time was that, and I don't like saying it now, but I'm going to because we're not filtering. We're not filtering. Recognizing that it is making me uncomfortable and it could make you uncomfortable. I saw those as dead fish. And then my computer shuts off. I saw those as dead fish and around this island. I saw this center image as an egg and this as being like a crown of thorns. So I went back and I listened to again, I keep wanting to hold this up, so I'm just gonna hold it up. I, rewatched the reading, and what came through, it was actually a clarification of the message from the day before. The message from the day before, I think it was entitled, Discernment, something about discernment around external voices and being one's own emperor. And the card that I was clarifying was, and I wish I had grabbed it. Okay, hang on, pause. It's from Romy Weiser's Life Soul Vision Oracle, and it is called, there it is right there. I see it. Waves Crash and Stars Fall. It's card number 32. Of course, it's a five. We've talked about fives and how that is the number of change. So I was clarifying this card because I haven't gone back and listened to that particular video, but in it I talked about, the message came through that there would be events that were revealed that had to do with heads of state and would be like a global tower moment. So in the clarification reading, which is where this came out, what came through was that global tower moment had to do with the Epstein files. Now, just over the last couple of weeks, there has been a whole lot revealed. Now, I don't think the first big release of the Epstein files happened on December 19th. I don't think anything happened in August around the full moon in Aquarius. That was the one thing I got wrong. I believe now, and what the nine are telling me is that it was actually well, okay, there was the potential for them to be released then, but it got pushed back, and that's why they're being released now. However, there is an even more profound, not profound, well, profound, um, more difficult revealing that is going to happen after the solar eclipse. The solar eclipse on February 17th is a new moon in Aquarius. It has to do with what comes through in through more information from the Epstein files on or after just after the new moon in Aquarius on February 17th. So this particular reading that I'm referring to is very insightful, though, around the why. It includes information about the divine feminine, talks about divine feminine rage. It talks about redefining pleasure, I'm not going to hold that up while I'm saying that, redefining sensuality, how we connect with our bodies, how we connect with the divine feminine, and pleasure. Now, let me take a breath. So, let me read my notes here for just a second. Yeah, that reading was like an initial entry into it. One of the important parts of this is to recognize that we have been working, that was exactly 6 months ago. Maybe not exactly, but pretty darn close. Because we're 6 months past with the new moon in Aquarius coming. So over the last 6 months, we have done a lot of preparatory work to be at the stage where we are able to move through this, which is about to really happen. What we've seen so far, and I don't like to be the one to say this, and I don't think I'm the only one saying this, but what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg. As awful and horrific as it is just the tip of the iceberg. Um, okay, so I'm going to link the original reading in the description box of this video. and I'm going to add it to the back end of this video as well. So you can just watch it straight through. If you don't want to, you can click off when I finish with this message. I would highly recommend you watch it. Highly, highly recommend you watch it because it is very helpful. And there are so many reminders in there about moving through this segment and confirmation for us from back then of things that we've talked about and of what we have accomplished since then, what we have worked on, what we have solidified, the tools that and skills that we are gaining mastery over. Okay, so this part I'm going to read because I got these downloads. And these are, I wouldn't say they're actually downloads. At some point they were. These are things that I've had a knowing of, but I have not shared to this degree with you guys. So there is, as I said, there is something even bigger coming. As horrific and traumatic as the information has been so far, we have not yet seen the revealing of the depth of the manipulation, the siphoning, and the deception. The tunnels will be revealed. The tunnels where children and young people were trafficked between heads of state, celebrities, and the extremely financially wealthy. The rituals used to siphon that energy and light and innocence, and the outcomes these people sought to create. The wars and conflicts which were created to cover up the movements, the rituals, and to continue to bolster the illusion. The separation, which was instigated and amplified to ensure actions and intentions remained hidden. The massive loss of life, which occurred in the name of patriotism, but was really in service of maintaining the lies and the illusion. I'm starting to shake. It's a lot of energy and all these. I think I'm going to pause here only to recognize that what I'm feeling right now is what is, I was going to say the potential, but they're correcting me again. That's minimizing this. What is going to be felt throughout the collective for you guys individually and throughout the oh, sorry, I hit the microphone again. Throughout the collective when this information is revealed. And there is such a strong, strong encouragement to remain so balanced. It's not to ignore these because, again, there's a difference between awareness and acknowledgement and re-engaging with it from a place of victimhood, disempowerment, of revenge, or of, even for those of us that have been talking about this, or those of you that have been talking about this, going into the I told you so's. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, because that's dropping your frequency down to a level of that sort of retribution type energy that we talked about in a recent reading or recent message. It is so important for us to maintain this frequency of compassion all the way around, of being in a frequency and a vibration and coherence with the truth that allows us to be in that space of transmuting these frequencies for the collective. That just keeps coming through. That's so, 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 so important. Look, most of us here, if not all of us, are empaths. And that's what empaths do. We transmute frequencies. What we didn't know before when we were disempowered is how to allow for the transmutation. So we just took it in, feeling that there was we held some sort of sense of responsibility. We didn't understand before our awakening and our understanding of our self-sovereignty and our empowerment that The gift in being an empath is the ability to transmute the frequencies, not just take them on and hold them. That's what causes disease, literally causes disease, among other things. Disease of all sorts. Um, so again, to our do our best to be very mindful, to be very present, and to have an awareness, but to not drop into the spaces, the situations, the engagement, the um, ingestion of information, of dialogue, of conversation, of discussion that brings us into an energy of disempowerment or feeling out of control, a sense of anxiety. That anxiety is exactly fear is what feeds the matrix. Fear is what feeds these people that I'm talking about. And again, we to be in a space of unconditional love and compassion because there is there is a purpose in everything that happens. For us to shift fully and move and solidify the creation of new earth. All of this has to be seen. Structures had to come down that have been in place for thousands of years. And many of those structures are what we call our governments. And the United States is not by any means outside of that. The United States government is a main contributor to this. I don't know exactly. It was interesting as I was starting or preparing to record, I had this image of the founding fathers standing in the room where they wrote the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. And I got this very strong sense that something happened in that room. And I kind of hesitated as to I second guessed myself and that vision as to did it happen then? Did they were they in that room with the best of intentions? It just doesn't feel like it. It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like the illusion was created within that room. And it's been going on for so long. We are about to have the 250th anniversary of the United States. This is this is no coincidence. This is no coincidence. Okay. I don't is there anything else we want to say about that that I want to say about that? The only other thing I want to say about that is if you are looking at the news at any point, you may notice that there are some European countries who have already started making arrests of government officials, other very wealthy people who are repeatedly, repeatedly, I don't even know how many times, present in the Epstein files and in those communications. And none of that has happened in the United States as of yet. Not a single one. So what does that tell you? I live in the United States. Am I proud of that? Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely not. Okay. Are we going to go off on a tangent here? We might. This is so important though. We cannot not talk about these things. We again, it's not to and it comes through in the reading as well. It's not about diving deep into the details of what was in the Epstein files. It's about recognizing what happened and now pulling back and saying, what is it in our structure that allowed that to happen? That actually was utilizing that energy? Because that's exactly what was going on. and continues to go on. There's a lot of places we could take that. It doesn't just happen in, as we know by all of the individuals that are in the Epstein files. There are members of academia, there are celebrities, there are business people, there are royalty, there are heads of state. Okay. I went off on a little tangent there, but it's so important. Okay. So, and on that, we're going to repeat this last one because there are people who have their massive loss of life, which has occurred in the name of patriotism, but was really in service without their knowing, for the vast majority, without their knowing, to maintaining the lies and the illusion. And I'm speaking of members of the military, in case that wasn't clear, because we're not filtering anymore. Okay, and then we get to the conflicts and invasions and removal of leaders in order to facilitate seizure of and possession of energetically powerful artifacts and tomes from the ancients, from our ancestors. One, to keep those artifacts and tomes and information from our view, the general collective, to keep the story of humanity that they have created intact and in the collective thought and understanding. And then two, to utilize their energetic expression towards those nefarious, gluttonous, and malevolent manifestations. Utilizing those artifacts. Now, if you guys remember, I think it was in April of last year, there was a message that came through. It may have, I don't remember when it was. I think April. Sometime last year. There was a message that came through about Jesus and Jesus's, Yeshua's participation in the Lemurian mystery schools that were present in the mountains of oh gosh, where were they? I think around Kazakhstan and Afghanistan, the Kashmir region. I don't think I'm getting the geography right there, but it was the Kashmir region. I do remember that. And there was a message that came through about how sometime from last summer to this summer, there would be a revelation, and it would be revealed that these Lemurian mystery schools would be discovered. Now, it's my understanding now they've already been discovered, and that's what the 9 were referring to as far as the use of ancient artifacts. What I'm feeling now, a broader view of this message, is that the location and the actual what is the word I'm trying to think of? Existence, there's the word, the actual existence of those Lemurian schools is going to be revealed to on a global scale. There's so much that is about to be revealed. So let's see. Do we want to keep going with that? There's so much that's about to be revealed. I mean, there's been things about what it exists underneath the pyramids, the true nature of the pyramids. All of these things are coming. We talked about multiple times about the true origin of humanity and the true history of humanity, the true history of our planet and our solar system. Those things are coming forth. And we're just at the very entry level. I know that the information that is coming out or has come out recently can be very overwhelming. And that's why it is so, so, so important to be discerning about what you are engaging in and how deeply you're engaging with it. And I can't give you a number, I can't give you a volume, I can't give you a time frame because it is unique to you, to your sensitivities, to your particular your personal role and purpose here on this planet at this time in this part of history. But That's why it is so incredibly important that you be in touch with your truth, with your body, the signals that your body is giving to you, because that is what is going to inform you as to when you are becoming dysregulated, when your nervous system is overwhelmed, doing the things to take care of yourself that cannot be overstated. It cannot be overstated. This is so important, you guys. This is so important. I can't, Ah! I can't express it enough. Like, there's not enough. I hope you're feeling the energy. That's all I can say. I hope you're feeling the energy, because I don't want to be yelling at you, because it's not about yelling at you. It's just expressing how important this is, and the recognition that we're just beginning to enter into these revelations. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And that's not a bad thing. This is an amazing thing. As I said in the last message, let's look at this as what a fantastic hallelujah this is happening, right? Hallelujah, this is happening. It is I was going to say it's about time. I think I said that in the reading as well. It's, of course, all in divine timing, and we are all so ready for it, right? We have been asking for the truth. And here's the thing. The more we if we're not able to hear our own truth, we are not going to be able to hear the truth of the collective or the truth of anyone else, whether they're close to us, whether they're a stranger, whether they're a figurehead, whether it's a head of state, whether it's a celebrity. We're not going, if we can't hear our own truth, we're not going to be able to hear the truth of them, regardless if it comes from their mouth or someone else's. And here's the other part. When we know our own truth, it's a whole lot easier to know when someone is not speaking their truth. So keep coming back to that. Keep coming back to listening to yourself, listening to your body. What your body is telling you is so freaking important. This physical vessel is what transmutes, alchemizes, digests, integrates, activates, releases every energy that we come in contact with. Every single energy. Listen to your body. I feel like I'm getting louder and louder and louder. This is so freaking important. I don't think I've delivered a message that is as important as this, because this time is so critical. It is so critical. Most of the time, the messages from the 9, we talk about how everything is timeless, and it is timeless. It is. And for those of you who are watching right now, you will be drawn to this when it is most important for you. And I think most of you are going to, there will be a group of you who are going to watch this before the eclipse, and that is purposeful, because you are part of the spiritual leaders that we've talked about in the last couple of videos, maybe more than that. You are part of that group. You are needed. And whether it is taking action in your community or whether it is holding the frequency, all forms of how you show up in that spiritual leadership role are equally important, so valuable, and so needed. That also cannot be overstated. I'm here to help, to support. I am walking this path alongside you. This is why we're here with these messages, to walk hand in hand together, to provide the guidance and the support and the encouragement along the way. And in that vein, looks like I'm going to be doing daily videos again here for a while, because it's really important for us to have that daily check-in. Not because it's important for you to check into an external source. That's not it. I'm here to support, and the 9 are here to support your sovereignty, your growth, and your expansion in your sovereignty, not to look outside for the answers, but to support the trust that you're building in yourself. And again, solidifying that sovereignty, that self sovereignty, and that trust in your truth and the revealing and the remembrance of your truth. So, to that end, they're probably not probably, they are going to be short videos. They may show up on YouTube as YouTube shorts. They probably will, because I'm guessing they're going to be between 2 to 5 minutes. So you'll see them in the vertical orientation. They won't look like this. I'll create a specific playlist for them. I'm not sure what they're going to be called. Well, I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll put it in the community what I end up naming the playlist, but keep an eye out for those. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you don't have the bell notifications turned on, please do that. I've noticed that some subscribers, and it's fine if you unsubscribe because you don't resonate. That's totally fine. But I think it's YouTube playing with things. So I notice the numbers drop down and they go back up and they drop down. So you might want to check and make sure that your subscription is still turned on. And if you're not getting notified, sometimes even if you're subscribed, you have to unsubscribe and then resubscribe and then return on all your notifications. I don't know why that happens. It's not just to my channel, but it's just something that YouTube does. I don't know why. What else? I think that's enough. What do you think? I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot, but we are doing this together, and I'm right here with you. We have this community. Please join the community. Join at the travelers level. It's totally free. If you want to join at the explorers level, that does help to support me and this work as well. And that I greatly appreciate that if you're able to do so and feel guided to. This is why we have the community, and this is why we have this space to assist each other and to support each other, to encourage each other, and to be that if a touchstone is needed, being that touchstone of centering and of remembering who you are, helping you to remember your truth and your sovereignty and your power as an individual. And that also cannot be overstated. All right. I'm going to go walk in the woods. If you have the opportunity to do so, I would highly suggest you do the same at some point, especially over the coming week. We're going to have a live, let's see. We're going to have a live on, I think, the night of the 20th. That'll probably be a YouTube live. That's a Friday night. I don't know what time yet. Maybe 8, maybe 9 o'clock. It'll probably be late. And then we're going to have a live in Travelers sometime that weekend, but I'm not quite sure yet when. It might be, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll post that in the community section. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, please do that as well, because I will send the information out by newsletter in case you happen to miss something here on YouTube. And if you're a member of the Travelers or the Explorers level, if you're a member of our community in the circle, which is on my website, then you'll receive notification and an invitation as well to the Zoom live. The YouTube live will be a little bit different. You guys can make comments and everything. We can chat that way, but it doesn't have the more personal interaction that we can do via the live it's not actually a Zoom, but anyway, but through the live on my website. Okay, I rambled enough. The reading I talked about is going to begin here. So if you're interested, stick around for that. I think you would find it really, really helpful. I also recommend that you may want to go back and, as you have time, if you feel guided to based on the titles, check out those readings that we did for the 8/8 portal. There's a lot of information in those that is going to help us through this particular segment. So I'm sending you so much love, So much gratitude for your presence here, your energy, your support. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be back soon. Hello, everyone. This is Toby, the Galactic Intuitive. Thank you so much for joining me here. This is Lionsgate Portal message number 8. And as you can see, we're doing something a little bit different today. The Oracle card that came out yesterday at the end of yesterday's message was this card number 32, Waves Crash and Stars Fall. And it was, the message came through rather, I should say the message that came through was rather unexpected. It did feel a little bit heavier. And so I wanted to take a closer look at it, and my guides really encouraged me to take a closer look at it. Not that the message yesterday is going to change, but we're going to look a little bit deeper at it. And one of the things I was getting as I was preparing to begin recording, I was thinking back about the original message, and also not only about my hand's shaking. That's interesting. There was a sense of nervousness. I feel like that's what this is referring to. There was a sense of nervousness when I was tapping into this energy, and not nervousness on my part, but nervousness in regards maybe to the collective in response to whatever this is. Look at my left hand. And that's unusual. That does not happen. So there's definitely something there with the energy every time I touch the card. Can you guys see that? Okay, so we're going to go into this a little bit deeper, because the last thing I would ever want to do, and honestly, my part of the reason why I honestly shy away from predictions is because I don't want to instill any sort of fear. That's not the point of them. The point of, and I do want to say this right from the get-go, because I tend to avoid making any sort of predictions. That's been happening more frequently recently, though, and when my guides are very insistent that I share a predictive type message, I know that there is a very, very important reason for them to be so insistent, because of our past conversations around predictions, and also because they know how I feel about predictions. So when they're that insistent and something comes through that clearly, I take that very seriously, and I want to share that with you guys, because there are a lot of predictions out there, and I'm not making any judgment on whether those are good, bad. It's, wrong, right to do. That's everybody has their own feelings on that. It's not for me to judge that. I'm just stating how I feel about it, and how I feel about delivering them myself. So again, if something comes through that clearly and they're that insistent that I share it, I know that it's very important, and that's why I share. If I share a prediction message, it's because my guides are really pushing me to do it. So that's the short and sweet version. So there was a bit of nervousness with the energy, and there goes the finger again. There was a bit of nervousness around the energy of this card and these events. The first one I want to look at is, I mentioned a potential water event or flood event on or around August 5th. And I was getting very strongly that it would be, the first area that came through was Indonesia, and then it kind of opened up to between India and Taiwan. Well, that's a very, very large area. as I was looking at the map, to familiarize myself with it, just to right before I started recording, to see if I was getting any further details on it. I was really drawn more to, and I'm going to pull it up on my phone here. I was really drawn more to my chair is creaky, so please ignore that. I was really drawn more to the South China Sea area, between Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines. Here, I'll just show it to you guys. Let's see if I can get it to open. Let's see. I'm just on Google Maps here, so give me just a second and let me. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. So you can kind of get in. Oh, can you see it? No, because it's gonna give a reflection. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it. There's too much glare. Sorry, guys. Anyway, it's between Thailand, Vietnam, over to like the Philippines. Well, actually over to Taiwan, but the Philippines are just south of that. It definitely felt. Now, I also noted as I did this Google search, a day or two ago, there was a very large volcano that erupted. I think it's erupted for 2 days in a row now. It is on the. Where did it go? Oh gosh, where did it go? Well, now I've lost it. It's called Mount Lewatobi Laki Laki. And it is anyway, it's on one of the Indonesian islands. Oh, it's one of the Banda Islands. It's south of the equator. And as I was looking at the map, I really felt that this event that they were referring to would be in the region north of the equator. So, I wanted to share that with you guys first. I feel really drawn, not so much to look at the water event, but to look at that event that has to do with politics or heads of state. It feels like something that has global implications, not just regional or national implications. And that's where I'm feeling the nervousness. Now, if you remember, and not my nervousness, but nervousness kind of in the energy in the aftermath of that in the collective. And if you remember I mentioned it in yesterday's message. I can't remember which message it was, but one of the prior ones, I mentioned the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th, the day after Lionsgate, or the day after the peak of Lionsgate. And how, because of the astrology, and some of the, and I'm really feeling this, and now I'm getting a ringing in my right ear as I'm saying that, there could possibly be some sort of revelations coming about major political figures, or one in particular. I get the feeling that it starts off as one, and that leads to revelations about other, and I keep hearing heads of state. And this building in this card feels very governmental to me. Could also be a religious figure. Yeah, could also be a religious figure because it kind of reminds me of Rome. Okay, so I need a sip of my drink. Hold on. All right, guys, we are going to look Let's look at some oracles first, and then we'll go further with the tarot. So, where are we starting? Okay, I keep looking at these. We're gonna use the energy oracle first. And that was interesting. 29. Oh, look at that. 29, the world wanted to jump out there, and the temple path, number 12. And on the other side, hostilities. Okay, don't jump ahead by being, let's not go, here's the thing. We're doing this, we're not doing this to create any sense of fear. It's to understand why things may be happening. Maybe not exactly what may be happening, but why things are happening. Because ultimately we are in such a potent, was the word I was hearing, a potent period of time for our evolution. And so we've talked about this many times, that things that are in place that are based in the status quo, they can't remain in place for the evolution to actually occur, regardless of what level of evolution you're talking about, whether you're talking about something on an individual level, internally, externally, on a collective, on a global level. There has to be change. Means that something has to go, right? It's just, that's the definition of it. So understanding why this is happening, because, well, how about we make this twofold? That is the why. We may get some more details as to why, maybe around maybe a little bit more information about the what of what might be occurring. But more importantly, I think, is for us to keep our eyes on the outcome and what the opportunity it affords us. Well, there's our opportunity right there, cornucopia. And it's card number 11. So that is, I don't usually associate that with balance, but I'm hearing balance, and I'm hearing plenty and abundance. I mean, that's what cornucopia means, right? It means having all the things that you need, desire, and having an abundance of resources that allow you to thrive. Oh, wow. And caring connections. Well, that's part of it too. So I feel like there's going to be, sometimes if you think back to when we've had major disruptive events on a national or world stage, one of the positive things that always happens from it is that, my left hand is still shaking, is that it often brings us closer to the people we care about. It can be a bit of a shock to us to see how quickly things can change, and a little bit of a reminder of what really is important to us. And with that too, a reminder of really how beautiful humanity is, and truly how much good there is in the world. And so I feel like that, it's interesting. There is a lot of gold on these cards, but I'm really drawn to, all of Romy's cards have like the gold writing, but it's like they're pointing this out to me, that there may be a lot of darkness here, and uncertainty, and even disruption or destruction, not necessarily physical, but dismantling. But it's where, again, and this is what we were talking about yesterday, isn't it? It's where we place our focus. and remembering that things need to be dismantled in order for the beauty to really shine through, for us to be able to move into that space of the evolution and the ascension of humanity and of our earth. There's a refocusing here too, and I think that's, if we're looking for a purpose in whatever is coming, there's this refocusing on really what is important to us. And I think that's why I was getting balance, because we can be very, generally speaking, in our society, at least in the United States, there's a lot of focus on material, on acquiring things and wealth. And now there's money is a form of energetic exchange, so we're not demonizing that by any means, and it has its value, and wealth in all forms, of course, has its value, and we are all deserving of that. There is a difference between that, though, and seeking to acquire wealth because that's where we believe our value lies. So I think that's what this is speaking to. It is actually showing us how much wealth we have access to that is in addition to monetary wealth, and a rebalancing and a reminder of really what is important. And that's going to be different for each of us. However, again, sometimes we need, it's like it's whatever it is creating space. It's creating space for us to pause, and that's part of the advice here. Whenever this, my left hand is still shaking. It's starting to annoy me. So there's something about the feminine as well, because the left side is the feminine side. It is the side of receiving. Okay, we're gonna put a pause on that and let's look at some more cards, because I have a sense of what this might be referring to with the feminine and the shaking, but let's do another deck here. Okay, so let's look at, all right, let's look at the what. What are we talking about here with this potential dismantling or revelation? What are we talking about? This is not the right deck. Okay, hold on. Yeah. We're going to do the archetypes. And they're on the split. We had the gem in the empty room. Doesn't matter which way I shuffle them, upright or face down. I could hear someone wondering about that. Okay. So we're looking at the what. What are we looking at here? What is this event around the full moon in Aquarius? Please, Spirit. What is this event? Oh, the Queen. Oh, okay. That's also card number 11. The Village, card 41. Oh, and look, Carrying Connections is 14. The Riddle, 53, which is an 8. I'm really drawn to the hands here and the hands here on this card, on the Carrying Connections. That looks like serious. Let me look at the book for this deck real quick if I can find it. Oh, it's way over there. All right, hold on, guys. I am curious about what stars she has on this card because it looks like Sirius, and I bet Beetlejuice, and I'm not sure what that red one is, and that looks like Mars. So let me see. Let's see if I'm right. The Riddle. Maybe it doesn't say. I don't know that it says. When the riddle is present, one must stop searching for the right answer. It cannot be found and ultimately is not important. Rather, there is must be a shift from the literal to the metaphorical, from logic to mythic. Focusing harder won't do it. Neither will increased effort. Time, surrender, and humor are your only allies. What feels like the most pressing dilemma won't reveal its deeper wisdom for a long time. Okay, so this is... oh man, a great awakening or aha moment. The only way to work with a riddle successfully is to not work. Okay. This feels like something that has been coming for quite some time. A very long time. And interestingly, with the Queen card, I don't feel that is referring to an individual person. This feels like that's the Moon. Let me look at the Village here. It's interesting because the Village, it almost, see like this ring here? When I lift it up, it looks like, almost like a, oh gosh, what's it called? when you weave like a headdress of vines, what is that called? I can't think of what that's called. But when I first looked at it, it kind of looked like an egg, the outline of an egg starting to crack open. Okay. It is quite the riddle. It is quite the riddle. There is... that's interesting. 5 fingers, 3 here. Oh, that's 53. Okay. There is something that has been separated. Oh. Okay, this is not what I thought we were going to be talking about. That's okay. So when I was talking about the feminine, I got a sense that the shaking was not nervousness, but it was like divine rage. Oh my gosh, we're already 25 minutes in. And this feels like it's coming from the divine feminine. I think that's what this queen is referring to. The moon often is associated with something that has been hidden or is only revealed in the dark. Well, oh my gosh, it's a full moon. We got a full moon in Aquarius. That's what we're talking about here. This feels like a very old secret that has been buried for a very long time. And it has to do with it feels like suppression of the divine feminine somehow, but it feels more literal than just like the energetic meaning of that, or the broad meaning of that, like misogyny or patriarchy or something like that. It feels like a specific incident y'all, I'm going to tell you I'm very uncomfortable talking about this. It feels like a specific incident that has been hidden, and there have been many people that have been working behind the scenes. Now, some of you, it feels like, are aware of these people. Well, that's interesting. Also unexpected. So there are people that have been working on this behind the scenes. It's not being talked about in the media, but there is something that has to do with suppression of the divine feminine. And when this information comes out, man, the rage that is released. Okay, that's really heavy, you guys. I'm having a moment here where I'm wondering if I'm even going to post this video. Okay. So, the village. Okay. I'm going to try and say this in a way that's not going to cause problems for the video. So, listen closely. What I was originally feeling, that when I first talked about what might be revealed around the full moon in Aquarius, I felt it had to do with an island, someone whose last name starts with an E, and information about I think the information about what happened there is fairly well known, but more specifics about actually, let me take that back. There will be more information. I'm just going to say there'll be more information about what actually happened there and the purpose for that place. And I'm getting that again here, because this mountain, that looks like an island to me. And these kind of look like, you guys, this message is so heavy. This is not what how I thought this was going to go. It looks like an island to me. Even though it's a mountain, I just keep seeing it as an island, and like these as like waves, and almost like waves of fish.
I know that sounds really strange. Something underground. Something underground. Okay. Wow. All right, I need another sip of my drink. Probably should have made that coffee instead of having LaCroix. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're gonna look at the tarot now, and Okay, I was drawn to this deck, the Star Tarot. I haven't used this in ages, and I don't know why, except I just haven't been called to it. It is one of my absolute favorite decks that I have, and the Star card is associated with Aquarius, and as well, it is associated with healing. So, and look at how beautifully it matches the waves crash and stars fall. Okay. I mean, y'all, that could be... no, okay. All right. I think we've got... I think we've got enough information on the what. I think we've got enough information on the what. Let's do something here. Let's push this up. We're going to put you right there. You can kind of see that. Let's move all this up. All right, let's look at... I'm actually going to hang on just a second. We're shifting a little bit. We're going to look at... Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Life Soul Vision Oracle. We're going to look at what comes of this, okay? What, like, the purpose in it. I mean, we can kind of gather what the purpose is, but let's look at the outcome of this, okay? The other side of it. Because this feels really far-reaching. It feels very specific, but it also feels very far-reaching as far as the number of people that are revealed, I'll say. Okay, so what are we looking at here with the outcome? Collective heart, y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh, that just gave me a wave of chills. Oh, wow. Okay, that's the only one we need from this deck. The collective heart. Oh, that's so beautiful. I don't think I have to say anything. This absolutely heals, is the beginning of healing the collective heart. Whew. I mean, I have chills. Holy cow. That is profound. The thing to remember, guys, is that this feels shocking. I'm just going to be straight up. This feels shocking. I know we have ideas and some information about what was going on there. I think this, whatever is coming out, is going to be shocking. And I think what's especially shocking is the people who are involved. It is what actually happened, but and their purpose for doing those things. But the people involved, I think that's what's going to be most troubling. Well, not most troubling, but very troubling, and has the implications of this. Okay. And as I say that, the rain, it's been raining here for a couple hours this afternoon, and it just really let loose. I mean, Mother Earth is cleansing with the heat and the shifts and the rains and okay. So what are we alchemizing? This is the alchemy deck from Kim Kranz. What are we alchemizing with this? We know we're healing the collective heart. What are we alchemizing? Copper. Okay, one more. I'm gonna have to look at the book on that one. Card number 23. This is card 32, and we got card 23 the day before, didn't we? Okay, what are we alchemizing, please? Okay. Oil of vitriol. Oh, interesting. I know I don't normally go straight to the book, but I'm going to the book for these because these feel like we need the literal interpretation. Promise you, I am going to grease this chair. It is so squeaky. All right, 23. Materials, copper. Oh my gosh, you guys. I should have known. Do you see what this sign is here? Look at that. Can you see it? Look at this. Oh my gosh, I am blown away. What is that? It's Venus. It is the symbol of the divine feminine. It says fertility, the womb, and Venus. In ancient times, on an island called Cyprus, copper was mined extensively to make vessels and tools. This island is the same fertile ground of Aphrodite, the goddess associated with the planet Venus and the forces of love, pleasure, and fertility. Such is the magic of copper. Oh my gosh. This golden-hued metal elicits delight and mystique, even a sense of awe. The copper card marks the arrival of Eros into the laboratory. It is likely the alchemist has been hard at work for too long, prioritizing scholarly pursuits over sensual pleasure. Get ready for a shift of priorities. Didn't we just say that? For an awakening of the heart and the life generating centers of the body. And didn't I say this was an egg? In the true alchemical experiment, nothing is excluded or separate from the work. Bring sensuality into the fold and embrace it with reverence and curiosity. Aphrodite smiles upon you. Well, this is interesting. Go deeper. Visit or learn about the Statue of Liberty, the largest copper structure in the world. In esoteric wisdom traditions, Venus and copper are associated with the kidneys. A letting go is likely required in order to embrace Eros with open arms. This is a healing around our perception of eros and that type of love and of sensuality and of pleasure and of engaging in that energy from a place of balance and honoring of both the divine masculine and divine feminine. Okay, and we have card number 35. Did we have a 35? No, we had the 32. Oh, no, but we had 53. Oh my gosh. Okay, oil of vitriol, 35. Let's see what this is. Y'all. Oops, I skipped it. Skipped it again. There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys. Acidity, resentment, purification. When the green lion appears... Oh, the lion! Oh my gosh. Okay. When the green lion appears, a great alchemical reckoning is afoot. Long-standing frustration and imbalance cause this regal creature to lash out unconsciously, consuming all in its path. Be prepared for emotional turmoil, the rage, as the lion thrashes about. Don't worry, these changes are necessary for growth and in the end will be a relief to all. You guys, this is so perfect. Purification is the lion's aim, and it's determined to get there one way or another. When this card, which is this, right? Sometimes this is necessary for change and purification. When this card appears, the question must be asked, am I the green lion or the sun? See, there's the sun there. The one consuming or the one being consumed. It is said that finding oneself in the mouth of the lion is a necessary moment on any spiritual path. As the discomfort passes, the sun's beams shine all the brighter. Do you remember me talking about the gold shining through? And to ponder, change is the only constant. Okay, this is important. Vitriol is an incredible acidic and corrosive substance, and so it comes with a few warnings. Don't overconsume. Don't lash out. Breathe and wait. Remember, we talked about the pause. No need to add insult to injury. In alchemical texts, the great creature of change is known as the green lion eating the sun. Y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this explains a lot of why why my guides have been so insistent that every day we talk about how we can best integrate and accept in these activations with the awareness that we are on this precipice of a huge change. This is part of it. And I think this is going to be opening up doors to more being exposed. And as uncomfortable as that is, can we just really say, hallelujah, it is about time. I mean, of course, it's in divine timing. I know that. But human me says it's about time. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready to have it all revealed. And we're ready to move forward with that information. Now that you know what you know, now what are you going to do? Right? We've been asking for truth. Sometimes truth is really hard to hear. And I feel like this is one of those cases where it is going to be very challenging. And for many of us, I don't I get this sense that the challenge will come not necessarily from the truth, but from other people's reactions to it. Because there is a sense of it causing quite a bit of cognitive dissonance. That dissonance between what one has held for so long as a long-standing belief versus this truth that's being revealed. And this is also where the importance of discernment comes in. And the guides have been talking about that so strongly, of really getting clear on your discernment and really understanding your intuition so that it can guide you in discerning what is real and what isn't. There's a lot out there that is not real. Well, since we're on a roll of difficult subjects, I'm going to talk about another one here soon. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Divine Feminine, Venus energy. Pleasure aligned with heart. Pleasure aligned with unconditional love. Purification. And we have the collective heart here in the middle. How beautiful is that? It's just exquisite, really. All right, do we need anything else? Oh gosh, we're at 46 minutes. Okay. All right, we're going to do one or two of these. I'm going to shuffle them one more time, but I had already shuffled them, so. Okay, another time. So remember with vitriol, the warning was to not overconsume. So not to overconsume in the energy of the revelation. Allow it to be what it is, and then allow it to go through the purification process. Allow it to be released. And it's not to forget it. It's not to overlook it. It's not to stick your head in the sand. But it's also not to stay engaged in, like, okay, here's the thing. This energy is flowing and moving. It's fluid, right? Oh my gosh, there we go. The water does not stand still. Okay? The high tide is going to come in and it's going to do its job, but then it is going to go out. It's our job to witness it, yes, but not to try and hold this tide in a pool so that we can keep engaging with the dismantling or the destruction that happens with it. We want to be in the energy of allowing it to unfold naturally. If we get too latched into or anchored into the actual destruction energy, that's not beneficial for us. It's not beneficial for us. So don't get wrapped up in the drama. Don't get wrapped up in the drama. There has the potential to be a lot of drama. Okay, so we're going to... okay, this is advice then. We'll have 2 cards on advice, please. Oh my gosh, and I was gonna say, this one goes with the Divine Feminine, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, what's over here with the oil of vitriol with purification? That was fast. The Princess of Cups. Okay, that's compassion. That's like Page of Cups. And it's also a newness and like looking at things with childlike eyes. So this is on the other side of this, right? To allow ourselves to, again, it's now that we know what we know, now where are we going to place our focus, right? Because we have these two cards as our outcome energy too, right? So allowing ourselves to let the waves crash and the stars fall. And then afterwards, are we going to look back then and focus on what happened and what was just revealed? Or are we going to take that information and say, okay, what was revealed may have been ugly, it may have been certainly unexpected and shocking. How are we going to take that information and move forward in building new earth? Because I feel like that's going to shine a huge light on what we don't want, right? So we don't want to be so focused on let it inform what we do want, is what I'm saying. That's this Princess of Cups. Look at, she's hopeful and she has this cup of unconditional love. So it's not to focus on it's to find balance, okay? It's to be in a place of balance, to allow yourself to feel the emotions you need to feel, and then also recognize with your discernment and being the observer of your own behavior and your own emotions. Am I going down the rabbit hole of this to my detriment? Am I doing that to hold on to that drama? Or can I take what I know and understand what I don't want now, so that now I know what I do want, so that we can work together as a collective to create what we do want? And that's the Queen of Pentacles. She moves forward. She is the nurturer. She is the mother. She is, I mean, she is very close to this Venus energy. Very, very close. And I think we're getting the Queen and not the Empress because this is so new. But this is the energy we need to be in. She's the nurturer. She's compassionate. She creates. She knows how to tend the physical terrestrial world. She grows the garden. She nurtures and cares for those around her. She is the one who brings the cornucopia to the table. She is both grounded and emotionally intelligent and understands unconditional love and compassion. That is really beautiful. Okay, we are going to end it here. Wow, that was rather intense. I hope you're still with me. If you aren't, I understand. I forgot to mention, because this was so intense, I've extended, if you would like some assistance, whether having to do with these, maybe how to best negotiate this current time that we're in, or something going on in your personal life or your personal journey, I have extended the 20% off coupon on personal readings. So there's a new coupon code. It'll be in the description box. It's Lion20. You just enter that at checkout and it gives you 20% off. Makes an hour reading about $88. And I would be happy to help you. It would be my honor to read for you. And that is available through August 12th. So through this Lionsgate portal window. And I will be back tomorrow. Not sure what we're doing tomorrow yet, but I will be back, and I'm sending you guys so much love. I appreciate you being here And again, let's have some gratitude for the revealing that is to come, and allow ourselves to not be weighed down by the drama, and not get sucked in even by people around us who want to stay in this energy, right? Instead of moving to the purification, moving to this energy. Oh gosh, you can't see it because there we go. Okay? This is the energy we're moving to, the collective heart. Look at how expansive it is, and it's filled with light, and when you can be in your heart energy, it ripples out into the collective, and that's what we are here to do. One of the things we're here to do, but at the basis of it, unconditional love is the foundation of New Earth. It is the foundation of ascension. So being able to embody that and emit that as much as possible is going to be what's most helpful for the collective during this period. Okay, now I'm done. Big love to you guys. I will see you tomorrow.